Okay, if anybody's watching, can you just bear with us for a minute while we just make sure everyone is there? So we just want you to comment in the comment section if you can actually see us and obviously hear us. Again, if you can hear and see us, please comment in the comment section so I obviously know that we're actually live. Here we go. It'll just take us a minute, so please bear with us. Go. Right, so someone can hear and see us. It's not saying who it is yet, but at least one person can hear us. Here we go. That's fine. We're now live. Okay, so again, if anyone can hear and see us, please comment so we can just make sure we are live absolutely everywhere. Please bear in mind there is roughly a 30-second delay in what we do and what we can see in reply back from you. Here we go. Tech for text. Go live stream. It looks like we are live everywhere. So let's click on that. Right, yeah, thanks for that, John and David. So thanks for letting us know that you can actually hear and see us. So just bear with us a few more seconds. Here we go. Here we go. Right. Welcome to the Tech for Tech Tech Talk. This is a vendor special, Tecware presentation and Q&A in association with Terra Computer. This is a live show. We are streaming live on the Tech for Tech Facebook group and page, YouTube and Twitch, and you will now be able to listen to the show on Apple, Amazon, Google, TuneIn and Spotify podcasts. I'm your host, Phil Griffiths. Today we're joined by Justin Fletcher, who is the Business Development Manager at Tecware. How are you doing today, Justin?
Hey, Phil. Thanks for having me. Yep, doing really well.
Nice one. And we also have Alicia Shepherd, who is the UK Sales Director at Terra Computer. How are you doing today?
Hi, Phil. How are you?
I'm not doing too bad. Thank you very much. Right. Just to let everyone know, we do have a competition today. It's not a link to click in the comments or anything like that. So what you need to do in the comments is just put your name as well as your business name, and then we'll randomly pick the winners at the end of the show, or should I say after the show, and let everyone know hopefully tomorrow. You've got a chance of winning a Tecware Talk Plus matte black as well as a gloss white version and a Terra 2311W, which is basically a 23-inch full HD IPS monitor. So basically make sure you comment in the comment selection if you're in the Tech for Tech's Facebook group. This competition is only open to UK and Ireland members of the Tech for Tech group. Again, you need to be in the group, not the page to do that. If you have any questions you want to ask for Justin regarding Tecware, please comment in the comment section as well. And as well for Terra, if you've got any questions for Terra, Alicia will be answering those after the presentation. Right, Justin, if you want to basically show us what you've got.
Okay, let's get this screen shared. 1 second. Okay, can everybody see that?
Not at the moment. Technical issues.
Technical issues, which we've just gone through and it's worked. So what's changed?
Yeah. Does it give you a pop-up box or anything like that? Oh,
yeah.
Here we go. Justin's just
there you go.
Sharing. Bit of a delay.
Bit of a delay. Okay. Hello, everybody. Nice to meet everybody. Meeting everybody. It's not going to be a death by PowerPoint, I promise you, but there is some information which I wanted to share with you at the start, which hopefully will arm you with where this particular gaming peripheral section is going. Obviously, with everyone in lockdown and with everybody looking at how to maximize time that they've got, or just have the amount of time that they have, gaming peripheral sales are going mad, and this is going to give you some indication of how mad they're going to go. So this information is kind of pulled in the last couple of months. So even in that time, it's almost started to change. So what we're looking at globally is that the gaming peripheral market is worth anywhere between 4 and 6 billion US dollars worldwide. What's happening with that is that is servicing everything that regarding gaming peripherals. So we're looking at the UK, for instance. The UK is about 5.34 billion. Now that's made up of 1.57 billion of games hardware, and obviously the major part of that is 3.7 billion. The 1.57 billion is further broken down by the consoles, gaming hardware, and the PC peripherals and accessories. Now you're looking at over 300 million for that. The percentage increases are in double digits across the board on that, and they're continuing to go. Now, a lot of this information was done pre-COVID. So you're looking at 2018 into 2019 as a general increase of sales figures. Now, we all know that the last 6 months, it's just rocketed. So these are already out of date. However, they do represent trends which were already in place and will continue next year. Even though we've had a large spike this year, these will continue next year. And the final point on that, which you can probably see, is the bricks and mortar and the online services split. I think that's probably more like 80, 90, 10% on that one rather than the 52 to 48. But we all know that was already accelerating. So you need to have a web presence in order to maximize your shop detail on that one. Post-COVID, what we're looking at here is the main drivers for it. So we already know that people are locked down, people are spending more time at home, but with that are some firm drivers. The main ones are things like games, the fact that gaming is now much more mainstream than even 5 years ago. Esports has had a lot to do with that, but also just the whole thing about people growing up with games now. It's a normal thing to do. It's no longer something which is out of the ordinary. Even in my lifetime, I've seen it. It's been a massive change even over the last 5 years. The sales increases, which I mentioned earlier, we're looking at anywhere between 200 and even higher, 200% and even higher across a lot of sectors at the moment, especially gaming peripherals. That is mainly online, but it's also in click and collect. It's also in bricks and mortar shops as well. It's across the sector as a whole. So there's no major dominant aspect to that. It's there. The spend is there with people. Now, what's also driving that is things like students staying at home with learning and gaming. Public sector, I think we've already seen that with things like webcams and just keyboards and mice and extra monitors. People having to do their own home office. The technology drivers also on component level. So you're looking at something like the NVIDIA 30 series, which is quite a new thing. And also something which was quite new when I was doing this presentation or this research was the flight simulator had just been released. Now, flight simulator itself is expected to bring in an extra 3 billion worldwide on its own. So regardless of how the year is progressing with regards peripheral purchasing, Flight Simulator is going to bring in its own. Now it's going to be joysticks, it's going to be keyboards, it's going to be extra mice, it's going to be extra monitors, everything to do with computer purchases. So it's not entirely bound to peripherals, but it will bring 3 billion of hardware sales totally. Now, what's also going to drive that, as I mentioned earlier, is the new graphics cards. Now, NVIDIA 30 series was just on the cusp of being announced. We've also got ATI, which is, or AMD, that shows my knowledge, AMD, which is also going to be released this month. That is going to go head to head with things like the Xbox Series X and the PS5. Now, what we're looking at is that gaming notebook sales we're already on an upward trend. They're going to be anywhere between 150 to 200% increase, we think, on 2018 and 2019 figures going into 2021. This is feeding into the multi-device home situation, which we're starting to see. It's no longer a single device household, and I'll get onto that in a minute because that is a massive driver now. Desktop sales, gaming desktop sales especially, were quite flat for a few years. Now we're starting to see those increase. Now there is a little bit of change in perspective on what that increase looks like. It can be anywhere between 10% and 40%, depending on who you speak to. The driver of that is obviously more games, more gaming needs, and the fact that people don't always want a gaming notebook. They want something more substantial. The good news is that they are now increasing. So what was a flat, slightly declining market is now firmly increasing. Now, anywhere between 10 and 40%, as I said, that's good numbers to have. So we're looking at around probably about 130,000 units for next year in the UK. Gaming hardware with regards online services, that's also a big driver. Cloud gaming, that's coming and going. It's still yet to be done. I think Microsoft or NVIDIA have got the march on that one ahead of Google. But that's something that will come in probably later in 2021 as more of a driver with regards to that. So with opportunities in the UK, this is what's interesting to you guys, is that gaming is just going to continue to grow. It's not going anywhere. We all know it's bigger than Hollywood and has been for a while. It's bigger than anything now. It is its own phenomenon. So we're either on board or we're not. So what we're looking at is the main peripheral groups that will be growing, gaming keyboards and accessories, gaming mice, gaming controllers, and high-res displays, because what we're looking at for people's home office / gaming offices are multi-display environments. That is driven a lot by people wanting to have as much of an immersive experience as possible. Now, you would think that VR headsets would come into that immersive aspect. That could still happen, obviously, with the Oculus Quest 2, Facebook account aside. That is a cracking unit, and 299 or 249, I think it is in the UK, that is going to drive a lot. So gaming headsets were projected to be quite flat with a slight uptick, but they're kind of like the last purchase that people do. They're a very considered purchase. So it seems to be the last thing that they replace. So there was a big run on gaming headsets over the last couple of years. We're not expecting that to go away entirely, but it's not going to have the same amount of growth spike as the other peripheral segments. So keyboards, mice, mouse mats, not headsets, etc. Possibly VR headsets. So I mentioned the multi-device aspect a minute ago. What we're seeing now is that the home has become a multi-device environment. So we're all techie. We all have this. I certainly have this. So I have a nook downstairs, which is my media center. I have a Xbox sat next to it. I used to have a PS4 sat next to it, but that's gone in place for PS5 when that arrives. There'll be the laptop, which I'm talking to you now on. There's the gaming PC, which is right next to me here. I've got 2 screens. I've got 2 keyboards, and I've got 1 mouse, which is the Tecware mouse here, which is the EXO. That's me on my own. So as a family, what you're finding is that each room will become a device environment. So what's happening is that you may sometimes have a console downstairs. You will have a gaming PC in another room, and that might be it. You might have laptops. You probably will have tablets as well, but they will now become per person rather than per household. So if you have kids or if you have multi-tenant houses, it'd be quite sure that a lot of those rooms will have their own devices. Now, the sort of thing that's the new part aspect of that is the Xbox Series S, which is going slightly off topic, but I'll become apparent why. The Xbox Series S is a very low-end Xbox, and that's almost a streaming service unit. That has become an affordable console to have in multiple rooms. Not everyone can afford an Xbox Series X in multiple rooms. They might have one, but they might have S's in other rooms upstairs. So a multi-device environment becomes where each room will probably have a phone. Well, they will have a phone. They might have a tablet. They might have a notebook, and they might have a gaming PC or laptop in that room. They might also have the Xbox in there as well. And all of these things need peripherals. So all of them need mice. They all need keyboards, mouse mats, etc. So that's something to watch out for in the next year, because that is especially with lockdown now and people having their own time and having their own room and their own area, their own private area, that's becoming ever more important now. And as we know, potentially this could go on for a while. So this demand is going to increase. But once that demand is there, it's still going to continue. So the last point I wanted to mention to you is that on device penetration into homes, as in the amount of homes percentage-wise that have a device, regardless of multi-device or whatever, the US and EU share about 20% of homes have some kind of device in them, gaming device. APAC, which is Asia Pacific, we expect this to be high because the Far East is the source of a lot of this product, is about 35%. The UK, as of 2019, early 2019, was standing at 10%. Now that might have increased in the time since I've done this work. If it's at 15%, I think that's maybe a better gauge. But even if we're looking at US and EU, they will have increased as well, maybe even quicker than the UK has done. So just as a final takeaway of what the opportunity is, the UK only has 10% gaming device penetration in the home. Even if we want to continue to be with the EU and US, even if we want to commit and be the same, we've still got room to grow just to become equal. If we want to exceed that, there's a lot of buying that has to happen. So this will naturally happen over time, but it's something to watch out for. Again, the trends are there, and it's going to continue next year. So onto Tecware itself. We are like a boutique PC hardware vendor. So we choose what it is that we want to do. So we started in 2012 in the Far East and Philippines, and we have a full set of everything apart from power supply. The headset, sorry, the complete range that we've got covers every aspect of it apart from power supply, as I've just said. So just as a quick milestones, this is where we are currently. We've been doing hardware since about 2016 on the peripheral side. So that's our major area that we do a lot of work on. We do cases, and we'll get onto those in the latter half of the presentation. But the keyboards are our main idea that we do, and that's where a lot of our business goes. We've put a lot of research in with our partners into this unit. We've hit the price points that we want to get to. And we've continued this range, incrementally updating it since 2016. But we've outreached into the US via Amazon. We've outreached into UK and EU with Terra's help on this one. We appointed Terra in November, and we went live into the channel in March of this year. And it's just been fantastic ever since. So Terra, thank you very much for your help on that. So onto the peripheral range that we have. This is a snapshot of what we do currently. What we'd like to do is we like to have a targeted range. We don't like to have something which is just a vast range of products that's going to hit lots of different price points. We choose a price point and we try to get to that price point because that's important to us. We want to reach it and we want to maximize it as much as we can. So as you can see, we've got a couple of keyboards. We've got a couple of rests, a couple of options on mice. There's some mouse mats on there as well, and that covers the peripheral range. The RGB Phantom is our main and stalwart unit that we do. This is an amazing unit. It's very heavy. It comes in at just over 1.5 kilos. That tells you that it is the build quality is great. Mainly a steel frame. It's got a fiberglass PCB on that with surface-mounted diodes for the LEDs. The switches are Outermoos. Cherry seems to be obviously the one that most people know. Cherry MXs have been around for a long time now, and Outermoos, Kales, Gatorons, these types of switches are very, very similar and on a par when it comes to Cherry MXs. So this is also why you're seeing some of the top level vendors move away from Cherry MXs to their own or optical type of switches, because they no longer have that cachet of using the Cherry MX switch, because the Gatorons and Kales and outer moves are of a similar performance level to these, and then it also comes down to how you feel about it and how you use it. The price points that we're looking at for these are for the 88s are $54.99 and $59.99 for the full sized 105. All of them come with braided cables. They also come with like a USB cap on them, so which is attached to the cable as well, so it doesn't go anywhere. It's not like a clear cap that you can easily be lost. It's something that's on that's actually molded onto it. The big talking point for us, and one thing that has been very important to us, is usability and being different to other products out there. A mechanical keyboard is a mechanical keyboard, but if you are able to use it and personalize it to how you want to do, then it becomes something more important to you. And this is what we're thinking about. This is what we've wanted to do. So we have a full online suite with the RGBs, sorry, with the Phantom RGBs. We have lots of different, over I think 20 different effects with just regards breathing, cyclones, statics, etc. Any different pattern that we want. Macros are able to be recorded too. What is different for us, and what you tend to find in higher priced products, a higher priced competitive product, is our per key assigning. Now you can see in the bottom right there is we've got red, yellow and green assigned letters. You can put in probably between, I think, 6 or 7 custom loadouts if you want for different games, which are immediately loadable via the system. But what it allows you to do is it allows you to per key assign either macros or just lighting. So you can have, if you prefer a different typing set for one game over another game, you can have that and save it to different profiles. That's something that once a lot of people see that, they suddenly go, that's something I really need. I really want that. And once you've started using it, it then becomes something that you just have to have. You did think of how you got on without it. So to go with that as well, the keyboard wrist pads are a fairly recent addition to us. We have just started stocking these at Terra. A bit of a margin exercise for you guys on this one. They are an add-on sale. They don't ship with the RGB keypad, but they do fit. So there is a 10 keyless one, which is the 88 key unit, and there is a 105 key unit, which is for the full size key. So price at $17.99 and $15.99. They're pretty good. They're pretty good value. Memory foam insert to them with a fabric top, double stitched around the sides, and also with a rubber base. So the keyboards themselves, being weighing so well, and with rubber feet underneath it, also they tend not to move. They're a very static unit when you're playing with it. So even if you get a bit busy with a game, for instance, they're not going to go anywhere. And these wrist pads also stay the course too. So our everyday mouse is the Talk mouse. This is a £25, £24.99 unit, which also has RGB and a full software suite. Now, the sensor in it is a fairly good sensor for a £25 mouse. It's the 3327. Now, the RGB on it is adjustable by full software download, which you can also assign macros, reassign keys. You can also assign the polling rates, the DPI, lots of different options that you can do. The weight is coming in at around about 97 grams, and it's mainly plastic. What I would say is that the white unit is a gloss white and is a very clear white. It's more in line with what you expect a product to look like when you get it, rather than what you see and it looks like it different from the pictures. What you see in the pictures is what you actually receive. The product itself, again, everything is retail packs. We don't do OEM systems on this, so everything is able to be displayed online and with on shelves. And with the retail packing, obviously you get the extra mouse feet included, which is free of charge. The cable itself is a paracord, so it's more of a lightweight unit. Going with the lightweight theme, It's something, it doesn't get caught. It's very easy to use. It's quite a decent option for you to have. So moving from the everyday to the pro, something that we're keen on doing as well is giving you something which is retail-y, very gamery, and also performs as you want it to. So the EXO Elite is our new line, and that's just landed with Terra. Now the sensor on that is the 3389. Going on trend, which is something that we like to do as well. We like to have on trend designs. It's very the hexagonal cutouts are reminiscent of other options out there in the market. However, the sensor is the winner. We have the latest sensor in our unit here. Now at $54.99, this also comes with a full software suite where you're able to do exactly the same as you can with the torque mouse, which we just went through. And also the polling rate and the DPI is adjustable, but as a default is coming in at about 16,000 for the DPI. It's obviously adjustable, but that's what's available. Available in white and available in black. Both are in a matte color. The cord again is also paracord. The unit also has adjustable DPI as a hardware button on the top, so you don't have to rely on. You can fine tune it in the software download, but if you just need a quick on the fly adjustment, you can do it, and it's right behind the mouse wheel. It's not underneath like in some others. It's right behind there and easily reachable. RGB mouse mats. Now we have an RGB mouse mat. We have two other larger XXL mouse mats. The RGB is coming in at around $29.99, and the non-RGBs are coming in at about $15.99. These are just simple branded Tecwares and just complete the look that we have. One thing that we've just had landed is the 7.1 Q5. Now, this is not RGB because everything has to have RGB, right? So there's RGB in the ear cups on the outside, but you have a full EQ and software, so equalizer and software, equalizer and RGB software download in order to control this. Boom mic, inline controls as well. Very usable, very good, and very well priced at $54.99. The wideband microphone is excellent, and that actually just pings off with a 3.5mm audio jack in there, so you can compact it down if you need to travel at all with it. So on to chassis. Peripherals are our main focus. Chassis are something which we've got into, and we have also a very small targeted range because we want to get it right. We want to offer something which is usable to you guys. Now we focus primarily on micro ATX at the moment. So we have the Nexus M, and then two Forges. One is Forge M and the Forge M ARGB. Pretty self-explanatory as to what those are, what the differences are. And then ATX, we have a dual chamber VXR, which is a tempered glass unit on two sides. And then we have the Nexus EVO, which is an also ATX unit. For the Nexus M, what we have is we have a fully featured unit. So this is a non-RGB unit because we want to give people the option to not have RGB if they want to. The tempered glass side is a 4mm tempered glass side. Normally on something which costs around about $34.99, you'd be expecting either a 2 or 3mm tempered glass or even acrylic in a lot of cases. But we've gone that extra mile and offered a full 4mm tempered glass. It also comes populated with three 120mm installed already. So you've got two at the front and one at the rear. You've got dust filters at the front, underneath, and on the top as well. It's a very full featured unit. The colors that we have are black, red, and the black and white, which is the one in the middle. The one on the right hand side we haven't taken in because we're using the white unit in the middle as our white option. The Forge M and the Forge M ARGB. Again, micro ATX unit. This is our mesh front unit for high airflow. The the tagline is airflow redesigned, and what we've done is we've tried to give somebody as much as a full-featured gaming unit as we can on this one. So the front in both options, because they are exactly the same when it comes to the actual unit itself, is one has black 120mm fans, and then the ARGB has the ARGB fans instead. So both of them have the side hinged tempered glass window, which again is 4mm. You've got enough room in there for most GPUs and most storage configurations which you can do. And the ARGB unit comes with a remote control. So you can control the remote control, control the ARGB via the remote control without having to go into any software. It is compatible with the Aura Sync, the Asus and Gigabyte options as well. That's just by with the controller, you can just wire the controller onto the ARGB header on the motherboard, and you use that from there. The VXR, this is our dual chambered unit. This is our main gaming unit that we do. Priced at $84.99, it's bang on the money for what you get. You are able to put in a 240 and two 360mm radiators in there, so you can water cool the CPU and the GPU without any fear of it going over. There's enough room in there. We also do a vertical GPU kit for it as well. So if you want to have your GPU on show, you can do that as well. Nexus EVO, this is our standard ATX unit, which is in our Terra currently. The RGB strips are down the front of the down the side of the front bezel, to the left and the right, and the air ingress is down the bottom. It's quite a wide ingress at the bottom, so that you will get enough air. I know there's maybe people thinking that there's not much air going to go through there, but it's big enough to have that airflow through. Again, you've got tempered glass side on it, 4mm also, but you have three 120mm fans installed also. So that comes fully out of the box. You can just put a build in that. You don't have to put anything else in it apart from PSU, and off you go. That's fine. Dust filters on the front, bottom, and top again. This that unit does quite well for us with regards gaming units. And then just as some extras, we have the Orbis fan packs. We will be bringing in fan-only packs and controller-only packs on these over the next couple of months. But right now, we have two options of ARGB units in the F1 and the F3. Both of them come with remote controls. Both of them come with controller packs, which you can attach 10 fans to in total. The difference between the F1 and the F3 is that the F1 is single ARGB LED, whereas the F3 is dual. So you have one on the inside and then one on the outside. The F1 is just purely on the inside. Depending on which on what kind of build you want to go, the Forge M, for instance, has the F1 installed in it. You could go for the F3 in the Forge M non-ARGB if you wanted to, but we think the F1 looked better in the ARGB. But depending on what kind of build you want to go, you can go for either. The specs of the airflow are the same for them. It's just a slightly different unit that they do. And that's Tecware. I just wanted to give you an overview of where we are. Obviously, we can drill down to more detail at some point in the future on another stream, but that's your taster for Tecware, and I hope you took some detail from that was beneficial. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Justin. It was a very good presentation, and I think that answers a lot of people's questions. But if you do have any questions for Justin, please make sure you comment in the comment section, so obviously we can get them answered for you. Next up, we'll go on to Alicia from Terra. She's just going to tell us a brief bit of information about Terra, who they are, what they do, and so forth. So over to you, Alicia.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you for the presentation, Justin. Very interesting. And for me and the team at Terra, it's great to be partnered with you and be the exclusive distributor for Tecware. I guess for those of you watching, some of you may already be doing business with Terra Computer. And from my perspective as UK sales director is just to talk to you about really how can we help. We're in unprecedented times at the moment, and I guess every manufacturer, every distributor will talk about how they're different, how they're here to help. But genuinely, we are different and we are here to help. We are different in the sense that we are both the manufacturer and the distributor. So there's no one in between taking that very, very important margin. With the Terra brand, we do not proactively deal with the likes of Amazon or any of the other big e-tailers. We all know that those big e-tailers cannibalize your margin. So we make a very conscious decision and conscious effort to police that and make sure we support you. As a vendor, one of the things that attracted me to joining Terra, for my sins, I worked for ASA many, many years ago. Don't spit, don't hiss. And I think, you know, I learned an awful lot about ASA and, honestly speaking, how not to do business. Terra is very much about selling one notebook to one reseller, selling one LCD to one reseller. What we're not interested in doing is selling 1,000 notebooks to an Amazon or a company like that. We are not obsessed about market share. And because we're not obsessed about market share, it allows us to follow that true principle all the way through. I think in terms of Terra, some of the key points for us is we are a distributor. We are an authorized Microsoft distributor, Intel, Western Digital, PMY, Samsung, just to name a few. I think we've now got something like 12,000 SKUs that we sell outside of the Terra brand. So apologies if I've forgotten some of the brands, and I know I have, but I also recognise time is quite limited. From the Terra brand, you know, it's everything through from a Windows tablet, an Android tablet, workstations, desktops, laptops, LCDs, and servers. And we have a team on hand to help any customer who's maybe being let down by a current supplier, particularly on notebooks. We have stock. We are policing that stock and making sure that we are managing our UK channel effectively. But because we build those notebooks in Germany, we have complete flexibility. We're not waiting on slow boats from China to arrive with notebooks that then we're going to sell to Argos, and anything that's left over, guess what, you know, the channel can have. Again, that's not what we're about as an organization. I don't want to sound like I'm sort of banging the drum, but in case someone didn't notice, you know, cut me in half and I read Terra Computer. You know, it's a great company to be at. We're very forward thinking. We are very much focused on our customers. We have a UK support operation. We don't outsource our support network. So if you're speaking to one of our back office guys, they're not then going to take a phone call about a washing machine or a microwave. They are absolutely committed to Terra. They work for Terra. They understand Terra. And everybody, you know, recognizes that the beating heart of Terra is our reseller community.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. We've got quite a few questions coming in, so
Wow.
Yay.
So let's hope they're going to be all right for you to answer. Some of them might be a bit tricky. If you're not sure what the answers are, just basically tell, obviously, everyone who's listening that you'll get back to them and just give me the answers a bit later. And obviously, I can just inform them and so forth. But quite a few people have entered the competition as well. Let's just go through. We've got John Merritt, Kevin Price, Steve Duncan, Robert as well, we've got David, we've got an Ed, Nathan, Gary, Julian. I could go on for a while. There's quite a few people on there, so that's good to know. Just a few of the off comments first, which are not really questions. For example, Robert said, looks good, would be happy to use those in my builds if they offer price benefit over the established brands. So what I can say to that before passing that over to Justin is I have actually reviewed these. If you haven't already seen the reviews, I'll put a link into them. And I was actually quite impressed, especially with the cases. They were very good for the price. Again, obviously, price obviously depends on what everyone else is offering on the market. But I'm guessing, Justin, you think the prices are pretty good for the range?
Absolutely rock solid, Phil. Rock solid. It depends what the expectation is and what the competition is that we're looking at. If we're looking at something like, I don't know, let's have a look, Fractals or Fantex or NZXT, something like that. They're a tier above us. We are aspiring to become something that high. We're in the kind of, I would say, good. In the good, better, best listing, we're kind of in between good and better. We're at good price points, but we're in better materials and construction. We take care in what we do. So as I mentioned earlier, we're trying to hit price points. We're not just trying to put something out there that's might sell. We identify a price point and we go and we maximize that point. So if we're looking at something like an Antec or a Thermal Take, maybe even an MSI or a Cougar, something like that, that's the kind of level that we're in quality wise. We are bringing out some ATX stuff later on next year, which will bump us slightly higher again. We're always pushing, the envelope on what it is that we're trying to achieve on this, but that's where we sit currently. So it depends on expectation of the customer, but £35 case, and even on the Forge ARGB, I think it was, which is the one you tested, Phil. That's at £55, and that has got literally a £35 pack of Orbis fans in it. So you mentioned how good value for money it was. If you put that together with build construction and everything and how it looks and feels, you won't be disappointed.
Yeah, that's true. It was, I must admit, the amount of RGB in there, I'm going to say a lot of companies just sell the RGB alone for the price, let alone the case. It's as if you're getting a case free with the RGB. So that's pretty good. Let's go on to a few other comments. Steve Duncan says Terra has always been good to us. So one of your customers there.
Wonderful.
Ian says, don't deal with Terra at the moment, would be interested to see their products. So obviously I'll link in their website and where to join up and so forth after the show. You've got Neil Jensen, I'm guessing you know who that is, basically saying great promotion, Alicia and Justin, or presentation, should I say. And he's also saying that he'd love one of those monitors, what we're giving away in the competition. Bear in mind, if anyone doesn't know, for a chance to win either a monitor, it's a 23-inch IPS monitor. You've got 2 mices up for grabs as well. It's a Talk Plus, the RGB matte black and gloss white.
Yeah.
They're up for grabs as well. All you have to do for chance to win is stick your name in the comments sections. When I say your name, I mean your business name. And then basically there'll be a random draw at the end. So that's pretty good. Let's have a look what else we've got. So these are the proper questions we got now. Well, I think this one's already been answered. So, Justin, where can we buy Tecware products?
Terra Computer UK.
There you go. That makes it nice and simple, doesn't it? That's an easy question. So, why should I buy Tecware products over the many other brands on the market?
It's a good question, and it's about preference. It's about trying something new. I know it is difficult, that there is a lot of other brands out there. All I can say to you is that we are looking at this from a perspective of your perspective. So we are trying to do this with you in mind, rather than trying to fit a square in a round hole. We're asking the communities in the Far East, in the US, we will be doing in the UK, because obviously this is part of what we're looking at now. What is it that people want in a product? What is it that they need? What price points are most attractive to them? What specs do they need us to include? Where do we need to go to? Where do we need to get to in the future? You're on board with us with this. This is about providing something that works for you, not you providing something that that it doesn't always work. We want you on our side for this.
That's a pretty good answer for that one. The next one wants to know, when did Tecware start out having their headquarters in the International Space Station?
Yeah, I've gone a bit Elon today. So yeah, Elon's just over there. Starman is up there, and HQ is just down there somewhere.
I don't know. Right, okay. So does Tecware offer any form of point of sales material we can use in our store? And do you offer any type of digital media as well, for example, for website, social media, and so forth?
We have assets which we can offer for digital. We don't have any POS. That might be something that we look at later, because we can look at it on a case-by-case basis, because we don't have anything printed up or ready to go right now, purely because the online space is something that we can easily cater for and can do on a case-by-case basis individually. So if there's that, we have assets which I can freely offer. If there is a printing need, that's something I think that myself and Alicia can talk about at a later date. But right now, no, we don't have any actual physical POS.
Right, okay. Well, that answers that one. Regarding the digital media, how would they get hold of that if they wanted it? Would they contact you directly, or Alicia, or the account manager, or who?
Any, really. I mean, obviously the first point of call for normally in normal times, I would be out seeing you guys and meeting you face to face, so we could have that conversation face to face. And I do miss that. Right now, I think, yeah, my contact details I think are available via you, Phil. But once you've opened accounts with Terra, obviously the account manager is probably your first point of call. So either that direction or directly with me, please just get in contact. We can start a discussion.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. Let's have a look. Can we become Tecware approved resellers?
Yes, you can. We have a where to buy section. I'd be interested in talking to that person offline. But yeah, generally there is an opportunity to do that.
Right, okay, that's good. Would that, this is my question now, would that be for retail stores or online sellers only, or would both be able to take part in that?
Both would be able to take part.
Okay, that answers that one then. Right, warranty returns. This is always an interesting one.
Yay.
It's going to be dealt with by Tecware or the distributor, as I always prefer to deal directly with the distributor. Obviously, they don't want to send items back to multiple different places. It's best just to send them to one place.
Yeah.
So what's the answer to that one?
So this is also about making things easier for you. You just deal with Terra. So they are the single source for selling and also returning stock as well. They have an agreement with us where we credit their product for any returns that come back to us. So chassis have a 12-month warranty, and peripherals, excluding mouse mats, have a 2-year warranty. Mouse mats are just a standard 12-month warranty. But if you have any problems with your unit, contact your Terra account manager and a replacement will be sent to you.
This one I'll ask from myself because it gets asked quite often. When, for example, there's just a faulty item on, let's just say a case, just one of the fans doesn't work, do we have to send the whole case back, or can we just send one fan and you'll send us a replacement? Obviously, they'll probably need it straight away, so can you advance that replacement? We
can try and advance it. We try to be as accommodating as possible. We've literally yesterday had a situation with a VXR and a customer. And an end user taken out of the box, and one of the magnetic dust filters had folded in half. So we sent a replacement filter direct to the customer. Customer's very happy. Resellers happy. This is just what we do. It's just what we try to do.
Okay, so try and make everyone happy. Right, next one's for Terra. Which credit insurer does Terra computers use, or Terra computer, sorry, not computers. Next, in a minute, I'm going to be calling you Terra again.
Don't do that.
It's Terra computer. So which credit insurer do you guys use?
So Phil, I'm glad you asked that question. I was saying earlier about how we're unique, how we're different. And I think unique and different, they're two things that get thrown around so very, very easily. We self-insure. Even in these unprecedented times, as a business, we self-insure. We still use Experian and CreditSafe to check credit worthiness and obviously credit reports, but we take that full risk. Now, the advantages for any reseller, as we all know, credit insurers, whether it's Euler, whoever, there's an apple pie for argument's sake, and there's only so much of that apple pie to go around. So for plenty of resellers at the moment who are looking at avenues of new business, avenues of growth, avenues of profitability, they can be challenged by the size of that apple pie. Whereas by working with Terra, it's genuinely a new business opportunity because you are going to be self-insured. It's not going to affect any of the credit lines that you already have and where you're probably already using those, or you have projects in place to maximize those. And we're very open to trading up customers. We're very open to extending credit terms on specific deals in the summer. Still, we saw a lot of rollouts into schools, and we all know that schools aren't the fastest payers. And where we knew if that was a school's opportunity, we would look at extended credit terms. So that's not to say by default we give everybody a credit limit, but we certainly look at it. We look at the facts and best endeavours when a customer opens an account with Terra Computer. Based on that experience and credit safe checks, we give an instant credit limit.
Okay, I think that pretty much answers that one. And directly relating to that, can we buy from Terra with a cash account?
You can have a cash account. We don't take credit cards, so everything is done via a direct bank transfer. But that is something that can be done.
Okay, so that answers that one. Another question came in. This is for you, Justin. Will you be doing like bundles for the keyboards, mice, and RGB controllers, for example?
We have some bundles actually at Terra now, don't we, Alicia, for some mice?
Yes, so we have 3 bundles running at the moment. We have 2 mice bundles running, and I'll let Justin talk about the detail on those. And I believe, without looking at the stock holding, we have 4 introductory Tecware bundles left. We did have, I think it was 20 of these at the middle point of October, and fair to say they've sold like hotcakes. Again, I'll let Justin go through what makes up those bundles. Justin is for sure the expert on that. But yes, 3 very, very crunchy bundles. One is an introductory. And then on the mouse bundles, it's 1 per reseller.
So on the introductory reseller pack, there's 2 Nexus M cases. There's an EVO ATX, I believe, and then a selection of keyboards and mice as well, 1 of each. So it's not overfacing you with a lot of product. It's giving you a sampling of the product over that. Now, I believe that you're offering 60 days on that pack, yeah?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, so that gives you a solid base then to try the product and then see if it works for you. Hopefully it does, and I'm sure it will do, but it gives you that confidence, gives you that time to properly look at it and see how it is. The other 2 bundles are based around the Talk mice. I think it's buy 4 and get 2 free is probably the best offer that we have currently at the moment, and those are live for the remainder of November with Terra.
Okay, that sounds pretty good, and those bundles sound pretty good as well, especially when obviously retail stores reopen. You could always buy
and they're an everyday mouse as well, so it's something that is usable.
That's it, and you could buy so many of them, like obviously get the 4 and get 2 free, and you could put one of the free ones on display so people can play with it and try it in the store.
Yes.
So it's not really costing you for a display model, so that's pretty good. Let's have a look at some more of the questions coming in. Okay, this is an easy answer. I'll answer it. Will TFT be reviewing these products? We've already reviewed some of them, as I've mentioned. I'll put some links in, but if you go onto our YouTube page, just look for Tecware and you'll find the products we've reviewed. No doubt Justin and Alicia will be sending more over to get reviewed as well in the future.
Yeah,
well,
definitely.
Hopefully you guys will be, because they've got quite a few views online actually, so they're quite popular. I was surprised actually how popular the cases were, to be honest. We're getting a couple of 100 views on them roughly every day, sort of thing. So that's pretty good, to be honest with you.
It was a very good review, and I like the way you went into it. You were very fair. and you liked it. You liked it for the right reasons.
Well, that's it. And if I didn't like it, we'll probably be talking that much now, would we? But but there we go. Right. So next up, do customers like eBuyer get a preferential price for bulk purchasing, etc., or will we be able to compete with the large bulk purchasers? And
Nope.
Obviously, that's to Alicia or Justin.
Well, what we've done, there is actually a slight discount for Tech for Tech's viewers. So generally speaking, everybody gets the same pricing, bulk or not. The whole purpose of this is to make this sustainable for the independent resellers out there, because you guys are the ones that make things happen in the channel. You are the lifeblood of the channel. If you like a product, you will run with it and you will push it, and that's what we want. We want a partnership with you guys. So no, they don't get preferential pricing. And if you contact your Terra account manager and quote for Techs, when you open up your account, you will have access to preferential pricing.
Okay, that's pretty good. Steve Duncan has said that Terra's helped him multiple times with big orders for NUCs and stuff like that. Backs payments, and let's have a look. Next question: what other products does Terra sell? I know you've gone into that a little bit, but it looks like they want a bit more information about what do you sell. What sort of do you sell? Processors and so forth, memory.
Okay, so we sell all the Intel processors, all of the I'd say all of the AMD processors, but we all know that's like trying to find rocking horse teeth at the moment. We sell PMY. We're one of Europe's largest PMY distributors. Samsung SSDs by the absolute container load. Toshiba, Seagate, Western Digital, Kyocera toners. Gosh, you're really testing me now on all of the nitty gritties. We sell some HP networking. We sell HP printers. I think it's fair to say we sell anything that doesn't clash with a Terra branded product. The only areas where that differs, and it pains me to say it because I feel like I'm promoting it, is Samsung monitors and LG monitors. It's always worth noting when you buy a monitor from Terra, whether it's Terra branded or whether it's a Samsung or an LG, it will ship out separately with a UK plug. So just as an FYI, we charge extra for the plug if it's a Samsung or LG monitor. But as I said, it's something like it's thousands and thousands of products. We're on stock in the channel. And for anybody, I know when you go on to say a stock in the channel, if you just tick that you'd like a feed from Terra, you'll be able to see all of it there. And I think you'll be quite taken aback by the absolute vast stock holding that we have. And of course, being one of Europe's largest system builders, when we're talking about Samsung SSDs, when we're talking about RAM, when we're talking about Microsoft, with some of those vendors, obviously we are negotiating enormous volume buying prices, and where we can, we pass those on to the reseller. So it's not unusual if a customer says to me, Alicia, have you got a Toshiba hard drive in stock? That I'll look and say, yes, I've got 27,000 in stock. They're the sort of volumes that we are dealing with. The Vortman Group, who we are part of, they're a €2 billion company. This isn't Fred in his shed shipping goods from Germany. In the UK, we're growing. We're about £25 million this year. Every single year, we're seeing growth on growth. And again, I'd like to think that's a testament to the way that we look after our resellers. We do try to say yes more often than we say no. Or how can we help? How can we find that middle ground? I think that's really important. And we shy away from voicemail. Every customer will have a dedicated account manager. who's absolutely committed to delivering the very best.
Okay, I think that answers that one. Next question. Right, this is on YouTube. Right, it's from someone called Conan. He's saying his computer's not working. Obviously, this is not a tech support show, but best thing for you to do is look up for a local independent trader near you.
Yes.
They should be able to help you. That's going to be the best one for that one. Unfortunately, without knowing what the problem is and looking at it, it's like a minefield. It's like saying a car doesn't work, and there could be many things not working. Right, we've got a question from John. How do we open an account? I'm presuming that's with Terra.
Okay, very simply, if you're able to leave your details, we will get an account manager to get in touch. It's very simply to fill out an account application form. Don't panic, it's not 10 pages of your life history. It's literally 2 pages, a signature, and we aim to get all new accounts opened within 2 working days. And it's as simple as that, and then we'll send you out the price list. And then hopefully, you know, some good account management and tempting you with some good products, we can do a good job for you.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. One question about Terra branded products. What exactly is a Terra branded product? Are they like computers or what?
So a Terra branded product, across our portfolio, we have Terra branded Windows tablets, Android tablets, notebooks, anything from a Pentium right up to an i7. We have PCs, we have workstations, and we have servers, and of course LCDs. Just one thing to note there, on a lot of those platforms, both notebook, desktop, workstation, and server, we are able to offer a bespoke build service. There's no minimum quantity. Again, because we don't obsess over market share, it's about getting it right for you, the reseller. If you have an opportunity to work with us on it, we will do everything we can. So where it doesn't work is if all you want is, say, an extra stick of RAM put in a notebook, because there is a charge associated with doing a bespoke build, and usually that charge negates, you know, the cost of that RAM. We can of course do it, but if it's a case of I want extra RAM, I want an extra drive, I'd like a different OS on it, you know, we offer Shape the Future education operating system. We can do no operating system if there's a requirement for that. But we can do a bespoke build across notebook, desktop, workstation, and server. And we have a server specialist in-house who is very, very open. She's very proactive. Her name's Vicky, and she does a great job, literally speccing up servers and making sure the requirement is absolutely right, and you're getting as much bang for your buck.
Right, okay. We're coming up to the last question, so if anyone else does have any more questions, make sure you put them in the comments area. Otherwise, you're not going, well, it's not going to get answered. Let's put it that way. Also, comment if you with your business name if you will be wanted to, if you want to be entered for the competition, which will be drawn after the show. So just put your business name in the comments area. Only do it once, because if you do it 2 or 3 times, it won't count. Next question up. This one's going to be for Justin. Does Tecware have non-RGB versions of products, as we get a lot of creators wanting gaming quality items but with no RGB?
Nexus M is ideally for you there, because that comes in various different colors. You've got the black, you've got the black and white, and the black and the red unit. Their fans in there are not RGB. There are no RGB strips in it. It's completely RGB less. Now, the way around that for RGB, if you want to do it, is literally just, we find most people are happy with putting in a standard RGB CPU cooler, and that's pretty much it for the RGB. But if you just want a stealthy unit, because the creatives tend to like a lower toned unit, the Nexus M is a perfect option for that. It is micro ATX though, so bear that in mind. But in most instances, that is that's not an issue.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. Another question just come in from Ian. Can you drop ship direct without invoices? It will open. I will open an account for sure, so that's a good sign. But this would be good option to have, and that's a question to both Terra and Tecware.
Okay, so yes, we can. As you'd expect from an enormous distributor of our size, we are asked to drop ship on various occasions. That's not an issue. And where actually, because all of our goods ship from Germany into the UK, whereas some distributors might quote ridiculous prices for shipping to Ireland or shipping to France or any other European country, we're already shipping into those territories. So there's very little difference. From a Tecware perspective, again, we have a lot of customers already who are asking, to save them the hassle. Can we just drop ship to their end users? Yes, we can, and we do.
We find that a lot on peripherals. So that Terra are already drop shipping into the UK on a lot of our peripheral stock for current customers. Now, when I say into the UK, that kind of intimates that the stock is outside the UK. It's not. Stock is in the UK. So all the Tecware product is based in the UK and it ships into the UK. Well, around the UK is probably the better way to describe it.
Okay, that pretty much answers that one. This question is for Terra. Obviously, it says on your website that it's made in Germany and all this, that, and the other. Does that mean everything is shipped from Germany, or do you have distribution in the UK? As in, is it in like a warehouse in the UK, or does it have to get shipped direct from Germany or wherever it's coming from?
So everything ships from our warehouse in Germany. Our warehouse is in Hullhorst, so it's just outside Hanover. We have 3 shipment methods. The most popular is UPS, and they offer a 2 to 3 day service. What I say on that is if we get your order before lunchtime, invariably that will be a 2-day delivery. Anything after lunchtime, it tends to be a 3-day service. We use DHL for what we class as saver deliveries, so next day deliveries, and we just ask for those orders to be with us by 2:30. See, Germany are an hour ahead, so we like to allow for that. And then we use DAXA for all of our pallet deliveries, and we say that's up to 5 working days.
Okay, I think that pretty much answers most of the questions. Ed's just asked a question. I think you've just answered it, actually. What couriers does Terra use? You've just said that, so that's fine. So I think he must have just sent that as you were saying that. So let me just double check. There's no questions I've missed. If I have, let me know, but in the comments, guys, and I'll get the questions asked after the show. But is there anything you guys would like to add on to what we've already said today? Let's start with yourselves, Justin. Is there anything you'd like to say about Tecware or even Terra?
No, I mean, Terra did a fantastic job for us, and I'm very happy that we're partnered with Terra on this one. They've pulled out a lot for us, and their level of service is exceptional. If anybody wants to contact me directly, I'm happy for you guys to do that. This is what we're on about. We're on about building a relationship here with you guys. So my email address is very simple. So it's justin@tecware.co. So fire any questions, anything at me really, and I'll do my best to get back to you. But yeah, let's start talking.
Okay, that's pretty good. And again, guys, if you need to get in touch with Justin and you can't remember his email address, I don't know how to get hold of him, just let me know, or I can tag him into in the group or whatever if you're in the group, and you can go from there. What about yourself, Alicia? Is there anything you would like to add about Terra or Tecware?
I think just on the Terra side is just to really reiterate what Justin was saying. One of the real bonuses that we have, and we have a lot of our existing partners talk about it, is how accessible Terra are. So, as UK sales director, I manage customers. So I'm very much on the front line. And again, please pass out my email address, my mobile number. Something that Justin said earlier, normally I'd be clocking up maybe 30,000 miles a year in my car visiting customers, and And I love that bit. You know, I love meeting customers and seeing how Terra can really work within businesses. And whilst we have forums like this, whilst we have Zoom calls, Teams calls, it's not really the same. So that good old-fashioned phone call is probably the closest we can get to talking to resellers who are interested in broadening their portfolio of products, and really, I suppose, giving us a chance to prove that what we say is what we do. So, you know, again, my email address, really simple, alicia@terracomputer.co.uk. Email me. Would be really interested to talk to you and see what we can do.
All right, there we go then. I think that's it for today then. I would like to thank Justin and both Alicia for joining today. If you are an independent trader, store owner, MSP, tech, vendor or distributor, you can find out more information about Tech for Techs at techfortechs.co.uk/join. Join over 1,000 members just like you that can give you free business or tech advice. And did I say it's totally free to join with no membership fees or costs to you? Thanks for watching and thanks for supporting independent businesses.
Thank you.